Uh, Hi there, everybody. I wanted to make basically a part two video of what I made. Was it the 15th? I think I made that one video about my take on dietary intake. Um, I've been posting comments on a couple of videos recently pertaining to like dietary intake. Uh, I think carnivore. I don't doubt that one can thrive on it. That's not really what I'm debating. The thing is that I am willing to debate about is the fact that from my own experiences, I think you can have alternatives. I believe in a fine line, like in between, like a middle ground. I'm more of like a middle ground type of person because I believe in physicality, versatility. I think even though meat has all these great benefits and people can thrive on it, I don't doubt that. It's just the fact that if you're too dependent on it, if you're too dependent on eating meat, then what happens if there's a meat shortage? I'm wondering if anybody ever thinks about that sort of factor, in the back of their mind. What if you get too dependent on meat and then suddenly there's a shortage? Then how are you gonna you're gonna have dietary afflictions, physicality afflictions. So I'm wondering how people would approach that. Like, what would they do then? So me myself, I take that to serious consideration. So I'm trying lately to have like alternative types of approaches to eating. So what I did today, I cooked up, I made eggs, scrambled eggs, only three. I could have had four, but I decided just go with three. I figured that's fine. That's good enough. It's sufficient, substantial amount. It'll do. I'm not a really big guy. I'm 5'10". I'm always weighing in the 160s. So yeah, a few scrambled eggs, um, and red onions. I cooked with that, and yeah, I put the onions in after they were. Or yeah, that's right. I'm thinking of the potatoes. Yeah, I cooked the red onions with the eggs in one pan, and then another pan. I cooked up three chopped up red potatoes, and then I added red onions with them as well. I didn't want to overcook the onions though, so I waited till the potatoes were first nicely cooked up because potatoes do take extra long to properly cook up to get that nice soft texture. That's the way I like to eat them. I chop them up too, I really dice them up when I'm cooking them in the pan. I add water, of course. And then, yeah, all that stuff, and I combined it all. And I added cheddar cheese, melted in cheddar cheese, and butter and sour cream. And I found that made a really hearty dish. I felt very satisfied. Yeah, sure. I was thinking, yeah, if I had maybe 3 ounces of ground beef mixed in, oh yeah, then yeah, it would be unbelievably, it'd be an awesome dish. Obviously, from a taste perspective, obviously, but I'm thinking from a physicality perspective. uh, I think what I had was plentiful. It was very sustainable type of way of eating. Like, definitely, I can tell. I mean, I don't feel deprived at all. I feel like as long as you eat your eggs and you have some dairy, on the side, then you're fine without meat. You can eat like that. I think most of the time. Like, sure, yeah, you can have some meat, get yourself some meat every now and again, but I just think becoming dependent on meat, like meat, I don't think that's good. I don't see that as being a reasonable approach. I think we're supposed to have a physicality, versatility, where if there is a meat shortage, it's not going to be like, oh no, I'm doomed. this is the end of me, this is the end of my life. Like, yeah, that's, I think of these things like I want to have versatility in my physicality. So that's why I believe in, having like staying on like a middle ground. I would obviously never go vegan. I actually did when I was way younger, way younger, many years ago. I tried it, and yeah, it turned out to be pretty disastrous. I mean, I came out unscathed, but not without, you know, definitely learned my lesson the hard way. I remember when I tried to go vegan back way many years ago when I was 28 years old specifically is when I tried to be vegan. I'm 54 years old now, and so I've eaten all kinds of different ways, different approaches, and oddly enough, I remember 25, 26 years old. I remember being pretty much a carnivore, and this was many years before it became, en vogue, so to speak. Because I was really into bodybuilding, and I was reading articles, saying that, yeah, you got to eat a lot of red meat. Because I was really going for strength back then. I was, all about the big numbers with the bench press and the squat, and et cetera, et cetera. I was big time trying to mass up and everything. So, yeah, I remember eating piles of red meat back in the day, 25, 26 years old. Yeah, big boatloads of meat I was eating back then. I was able to get away with it back then. I mean, now I most definitely would get sick eating the way I did then. I wouldn't get away with it. No, I wouldn't. I mean, I love ground beef as much as I ever did, and I've eaten it plenty of times over the last, I don't know, a few months, I guess you could say. But I start thinking though, like, I think about things, and you really, it is better just to have versatility in your physicality. I can't emphasize that enough. I just think if you're eating your eggs every day, and you're getting the butter, the cheese, and add in some sour cream, I think you're good. I think you're good to go. And of course the carbs, you gotta have carbs. I keep hearing about, oh, avoid carbs. From the strict carnivores, they're saying, oh, carbs are no good. Vegetables are no good, fruits are no good. With the vegetables, I like my cucumbers, because I like the way I feel when I eat cucumbers. I automatically feel healthier if I'm chomping down cucumbers, and fruits as well. Like, I have like banana with my cereal, or mixed with frozen blueberries, or have some pineapple juice with a banana. I definitely feel a lot healthier when I eat like that. So yeah, I just wanted to emphasize that I believe in a middle ground. I think you shouldn't be dependent on meat. I mean, there's nothing wrong with saying, yeah, I love meat. I love the taste of it, and the heck with veganism. That's crazy. Like, to people that are, you know, vegans, I would say, yeah, all I can tell them is I tried it myself. So you can't say, don't knock it till you try it. I did try it. It did not work for me. It worked for me fine for about a month, but then after that, I started going downhill big time. And then foolishly, I continued with it for, I don't know how much long, maybe another month it was. I could see I got just too crazy back then, and but I learned my lesson eventually. So it was about maybe 2 months, maybe slightly shorter than 2 months, that I was vegan. And this was, once again, just like with when I was carnivore, when I was 25, 26, carnivore long before it was en vogue, and then veganism long before it was en vogue. So yeah, I've been there, done that when it comes to all kinds of dietary intake approaches. So yeah, these days I'm just finding that I think the middle ground is the way to go. I just that's my take on it. So anyway, if anybody has any questions for me, you know, let me know. I also want to point out I do like to have my peanut butter sandwiches still. I find that gives me a nice energy boost, especially if I want to do a workout and I'm feeling a bit sluggish. I find a good peanut butter sandwich will give me a nice burst of energy. Well, pretty nice, sustainable energy, definitely. So, with that, final little pointer, little point out, I guess I'll wrap up my video and I'll see if I get any comments. Until then, take care, everybody. You know, hope to hear some of your comments. Hope all is well for your nutritional quests, regardless of what they are. But I don't recommend veganism and carnivorism. I think, especially if you're strict, you might want to think twice, maybe give it some serious thought about like the points that I elaborated on. So yeah, anyway. All right, signing out. Take care, everybody.